Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Mon Man. We are playing Bogles, and this time we've got a little mirror match coming up. So this is our opening hand. Not terribly exciting, but we do have Griff Spoon and Keen Sense, so we can play one of our hexproof guys and then start drawing a few extra cards on the attack. So hopefully that'll be decent. But it opens with a couple of Leyline of Sanctities. We're on play here. Great cover scouts all around. As I said, initially we can Keen Sense plus Griff Spoon to fly over our opponent's creature and get an extra card in. We also drew Daybreak Coronet, which is very nice, one of the most powerful auras in the deck. So that will hopefully help us to win. We can also start getting some life as well. So outside our opponent's creatures. So we drew all that glitters here off the Keen Sense. Well, there's a Spider Umbra and a Hyena Umbra, which aren't the most exciting auras for this matchup, so that's fine by us. We're going to take 3 here. Things are looking pretty good for us. We've got another Daybreak card out. So we're going to equip 1, attack for 5, go back up to 20, draw an extra card, play the Slippery Boggle, and our opponent is concedes from there. Obviously their hand not looking terribly exciting. They only have 3 cards in hand. Having double Leyline as well, I suppose, is kind of interesting. And that was quite a big sacrifice for their hand to have double Leyline. And it just doesn't really do anything in this matchup. So yeah, that works out pretty nicely for us. We were drawing 2 cards a turn. We found our Daybreak Coronet, and it all worked out very nicely. So let's go on to sideboarding. So nothing too exciting really when it comes to sideboarding against Bogles. The cards we want to bring in are Nature's Claim. Also consider bringing in this Path to Exile just for dealing with Core Spirit Dancer, which is kind of a big game in this matchup. Because if either of us stick a Core Spirit Dancer, it's pretty brutal. So I think maybe you want to bring that in. Suppression Field doesn't really do anything in this matchup, so definitely worth taking out those 2. And then maybe some of our 1-mana auras. I guess Evasion's certainly important in this matchup, because you want to be able to swing through their creatures as much as possible. So I think Ledgewalker actually still seems pretty good in this matchup, just for that reason, because you don't want to be sat swinging into their big guys necessarily. But yeah, Nature's Claim, Path to Exile are the main cards we're looking at here. So this is our opening hand. It's not particularly exciting. I'm always hesitant to mulligan hands because you don't want to mulligan too much. You want to amass like a critical mass of auras, and obviously if you ever have a hand that doesn't have one of your hexproof creatures in it, then those tend to be pretty bad. But I mean, potentially this was a mulligan. I end up keeping it, but maybe we should have pushed for something a little harder. We'll leave it to a Scout. We're going to leave with a Boggle, and we drew a Scout, which isn't terribly exciting. Not really what we want to see. I put an attacks and offers a trade, which is kind of interesting. I just had to go for it, given that we've got extra hexproof guys in our hand already, so it shouldn't hurt us too much. But obviously we're not attacking next turn, but there isn't a lot of advantage to be gained out of attacking next turn anyway, so I think that trade seemed fine to me. But there's a Spirit Dancer, which, as I mentioned earlier, is kind of a problem. They're going to generate a lot of card advantage off of the Core Spirit Dancer. Also, it grows very big if they decide to stick a load of auras on it, because it gets +2/+2 for each aura, so they can start making a very big Core Spirit Dancer very quickly, and presumably on the basis that we have tapped out to make a Gladecover Scout, they can pretty much go wild, so they get to attack for 13 here. You can play Coronet and an Ethereal Armor, gain 8 life, but no guarantee that that's going to be enough in this situation. We'll play Cartouche of Solidarity, and follows up with a Spirit Mantle, giving the Spirit Dancer protection from creatures, which means they can swing past the Glade Cover Scout and hit us. So, yep, not ideal. Without the Spirit Mantle, we would have been able to block and actually gain some life, and we may have survived another turn. And I suppose we could have swung back in that point. So it was really the Spirit Mantle that did us over there more than anything else. But because of the high number, we would have been able to keep the Glade Cover Scout around. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't too far away from a win, but yeah, ultimately it was the Spirit Dancer and the advantage our opponent got off of that helped them find the cards they needed and got past us on this occasion. So going to the decider. So this is our opening hand. As we saw last game, Scar Spirit Dancer is a big game, so I think we're quite happy with this hand. Obviously we need a second land, ideally, but this hand's pretty decent. We've got Nature's Claim, so we can disrupt them. We've got a Scout and some 1-mana auras, and we've also got the Scar Spirit Dancer, which will be pretty good if we can find the land to stick it. So lead off with Temple Garden into Scout, pass the turn, but has a Temple Garden into a Boggle. Draw another Scout, which is not ideal. We're just going to hook up an Ethereal Armor and attack for 2 here. Run down to 16. Opponent plays Scar Spirit Dancer, which isn't something we particularly wanted to see from them. Draw another Boggle, which, yeah, that's not ideal. Hook up the Rancor and attack for 5 here, put opponent down to 10. See what position we're in to race. He's going to play Rancor onto the Spirit Dancer, making a 4/4 Trampler. And then a high Numberer, drawing 2 cards in the process, and they've now got 7/7. They're just going to swing in with the Boggle here, because they are a risk here, so they've decided to hang back. I'm going to attack for 5 into the Spirit Dancer with Nature's Claim up. What I'm going to intend to do is I am intending to get rid of the high Numberer, then the Spirit Dancer will lose first strike and just become a 4/4. So we can then get the Spirit Dancer off the board. So this works out pretty nicely for us, our opponent blocking here. But yeah, again, we are missing our second land drop, which is proving problematic. Opponent plays Rancor and Spider Umbra onto the Boggle, attacks for 4, which isn't the worst. Finally found our second land, so we can drop this Scar Spirit Dancer down and swing in for 5, put our opponent down to 6. Fortunately, our opponent has Coronet and a Griff Spoon, so can fly over for 8 with Vigilance. Going up to 12, putting us down to 2. Play Rancor here. Attack for 8. With the potential that we could Nature's Claim something off of this Boggle, hopefully with the idea of killing it. I'm not sure if it would be quite enough. Yeah, I suppose if we got rid of the Spider Umbra, we would have been able to kill the Boggle, had our opponent blocked, but they actually don't need to block, which is ultimately the problem with this scenario. So, pass the turn here, and things are not looking great for us. It has Rancor and a second Daybreak Coronet, and that will do it. So yeah, unfortunately, we just lost out there. Kind of annoying because we did manage to sort of outplay our opponent there with managing to kill their Spirit Dancer, but our lands just came too late and we weren't able to stick our Spirit Dancer early, and yeah, our opponent just outspeeded us at the end, the bitter end. I mean, basically Daybreak Coronet turned things around because the life gain off of that changed the race situation quite considerably. This match is, I mean, not terribly interesting, I suppose. Is kind of who gets the better cards wins for the most part. You're still going for your same strategy. I think evasiveness is obviously important, so you can get past anything that your opponent puts down on the ground. Daybreak Coronet is a big game as well, in the life gain can change the race situation quite a lot, and obviously being able to block with your large creature as well as attack is quite a big deal as well. Otherwise, yeah, I say it's probably kind of a close race. Cards you want to see, I suppose, are Daybreak Coronet and Spirit Dancer, which can really throw the advantage your way. But it is a little bit of a coin toss, I think, for the most part. But maybe we should have mulliganed a little bit more aggressively. I've not got enough experience with the deck to know how well it mulligans. But yeah, maybe we should have pushed a little bit harder for the key cards in this matchup to try and swing things our way. But a close one, but sadly not gone our way.